A new city is causing quite a controversy. It's called Epic City. It's a planned Muslim community, and there are concerns that it will be operating under Sharia law. Now, Greg Abbott says all construction has been halted, and we're getting reports the DOJ will be investigating this. Now, there are some challenges here. One, I think just because a bunch of Muslims want to start a community doesn't mean they should be halted or investigated by the DOJ. But maybe there is evidence they intend to violate civil rights, in which there are some deep concerns about religious entrenchment, extremism in Texas. Here's a story from Newsweek. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said the state has stopped all construction on Epic City, a proposed Muslim-themed development backed by the East Plano Islamic Center. Epic officials have repeatedly denied claims the town would violate state law or operate under Islamic legal systems. Despite that, the project is under scrutiny from multiple agencies, with Abbott saying the development faces a half dozen investigations. They say the development proposal, dubbed Epic City, covers 402 acres in Collin and Hunt counties. It has drawn backlash from Texas officials, including Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton, who have accused organizers of potential legal violations. Abbott previously wrote in March that, quote, legislators are considering laws to restrict it, as well as laws to prevent foreign adversaries from buying land in Texas. On Sunday, Abbott said that his office has suspended the construction of Epic City, which gets its name from the acronym East Plano Islamic Center. Interesting. The governor wrote on X, formerly Twitter, Texas has halted any construction of Epic City. There is no construction taking place. The state of Texas has launched about half dozen investigations into this project. That includes criminal investigations. And the U.S. DOJ is also investigating this matter, and similar matters are taken very seriously, and actions are being taken to address all concerns. Epic City was planned to include over 1,000 homes, a mosque, a faith-based school, and a community college. The project is led by community capital partners created by Epic to manage the development. Organizers say the community will fully comply with state and federal laws and deny any intent to establish Sharia law, contrary to Abbott's public statements. In February, Abbott posted Sharia law is not allowed in Texas. In March, Texas authorities sent a cease and desist letter to Epic demanding it stop funeral services, citing a lack of licensing. Paxton's office also issued a civil investigative demand to community capital partners. Last Friday, Texas Senator John Cornyn said the Department of Justice had responded to his call to investigate potential religious discrimination at Epic City. Quote, I am grateful to Attorney General Bondi and the Department of Justice for hearing my concerns and opening an investigation into the proposed Epic City development in North Texas. Religious discrimination and Sharia law have no place in the Lone Star State. Any violation of federal law must be swiftly prosecuted, and I know under the Trump administration they will be. Mustafa Carroll, executive director of the Texas chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, told Newsweek, Texas Governor Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton have chosen to abuse their power by launching groundless investigations against Epic. I'm going to pause right there. If they're already holding funeral services without licensing, yeah, I think you've got probable cause of some kind of religious action taking place. I do think there will be a legal challenge in shutting down construction just because you fear they may at some point enact Islamic Sharia law, which, interestingly, can be implemented outside any legal framework so long as it is underneath the U.S. Code of Law. So they can all agree to behave certain ways. They can't do anything about it. They say instead of acting like true public servants and leaders, they have chosen to add fuel to the fire by disseminating hateful misinformation. In a Facebook post, the East Plano Islamic Center said, we are regularly receiving hate calls and death threats. Our mosque leaders' personal home addresses have been shared, jeopardizing the safety of families. The Epic City proposal remains in its early phases, and no formal planning application has yet been submitted. It is unclear how the investigation's cease and desist actions mounting political opposition will impact the project's future. We also have this from the post-millennial DOJ to investigate 400-acre Muslim town in Texas over claims it would operate on Islamic law. Again, you can't just investigate that they may do something in the future. They're calling it, John Cornyn said it was anti-Semitic and anti-Christian. The DOJ has launched an investigation into the proposed Epic City development in Josephine, Texas. They say the move follows concerns raised by Senator John Cornyn, who has labeled the development anti-Semitic and anti-Christian. I am grateful to Attorney General Pam Bondi, the Department of Justice, for hearing my concerns, Cornyn said. This we already read. Epic City is planned to include housing school. This we know. Attorney Dan Cogdell, representing Epic City, pushed back against the accusation, saying, from day one, their intention was to comply completely and wholeheartedly with the law. And they've just been vilified, assailed, and attacked. What is crazy to me is how far we haven't come since 9/11. The words mosque, Islam, Muslim, in the year of our Lord 2025 are still such a triggering event. I'm going to pause and just say that was an offensive statement. In the year of our Lord 2025, I see what you're doing there, buddy. Cornyn had formally requested a DOJ investigation on April 11th, writing to the Civil Rights Division and claiming the development constituted an exclusive religious settlement governed by Islamic principles. His request drew criticism from Muslim advocacy groups. Excuse me. The Council on American Islamic Relations sent a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi arguing that Cornyn's claims were false and that Muslim-led developments must be treated equally under the law. Indeed. I'm going to go and tell you, in my view, this multicultural society that the Democrats cheered for, don't even take my opinion for it. Rep. Ro Khanna, the pro-immigration, pro-illegal immigrant Democrat, said it doesn't work. He said, we thought it was going to uplift the working class and the middle class, and it didn't. Indeed. Whether or not this community is going to be operating under Sharia law, they want to. It's their law. It's their rules. It's their religion. Of course they want to. So the issue you will get is that whether intentionally by construct or inadvertently by culture, these rules will be enforced. That's a fact. Now, we are constrained by the Constitution and the right for these people to practice whatever religion they want. Now, let's put it this way. Let's say that a group of people there say, no one's allowed to, eat food that's not halal. That's not illegal. They will just culturally decide they're not going to eat non-halal food. That was always allowed. So the challenge we're facing right now as a nation is, well, I'll put it this way. The Founding Fathers could not have and did not expect what we are witnessing today. They couldn't predict the speed at which information will travel, the speed at which human beings could travel. And though they did understand societies evolve, and they did say, some of them, not all of them, that this Constitution is for a deeply moral and religious people, they couldn't have expected the rapid shifts this country would endure. Now, interestingly and famously, Thomas Jefferson, they say he was a deist. He wasn't a Christian. He allowed Christian practices in Congress. He said, as long as it's not exclusive and discriminatory, it's not in violation of the law. This is the problem that we are facing right now in this country that I think a lot of liberals don't understand. You are allowed to have prayer in schools. You just have to allow all of it. That's the issue. So if there is a school that says, we want the 10 Commandments up, that is not against the law. You just have to also have literally any other commandment anyone else wants, any other tenet or ethos or whatever it may be from any other religion. And you are allowed to restrict based on space. The liberals try to claim you can never have anything religious in these schools, but that's an impossibility because religion is a nebulous concept as it is. What constitutes a religion changes from person to person. And everybody has some degree of ideological faith in certain concepts and ideas. Simply because an individual believes that the Son of God died for them, now the moral tenets of the commandments can't be displayed? Okay, what if someone said, I'm going to make the 10, let's call it the 10 standards of gold. Honor your parents. How about be obedient and respectful of your parents? We'll just change it all slightly. And we'll say, it's not religious. These are just moral precepts that we think lead to a good society. That's why the Democrats complained, or liberals did, about creationism. They said, creationism is a way to argue the Bible in schools, and it's not science. But why would we determine that one faith-based structure is better than another? This is what people need to understand about this country, about our government and our politics, and ultimately what will end up happening with this town. What will a moral society tolerate? The end result of what the Constitution allows won't bar these people from slowly building up a Muslim town with Sharia law. so long as they're not policing it under color of U.S. law, they're going to be allowed to do it. Let me put it this way. If you and your buddies agree not to eat any, dairy for a week, and whoever loses has got to pay $10, and then your buddy's walking around trying to make sure that he's policing your food up, but he's not locking you in jail. It's not under color of law. You can do that. That's how they're going to play it. Now, I'm not a fan of this. I think this will lead to conflict and crisis. It's going to lead to people fighting, and it will eventually become codified. While they'll initially start not as under color of law, I believe it will eventually evolve into that. This is going to be a challenge for us. Indeed it shall. I'm going to wrap it up there, my friends. Stay tuned. Timcast IRL coming up next. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast, and we'll see you all in the next segment.